Hey, what comes first? Confidence or competence? It's not what you think. There's 4 levels of consciousness that you must travel down when you want to learn a new skill. You see, people look at me all the time and they say, I've got something new that I want to acquire, a new skill that I want to learn. And I would go, well, that's fine, but you're going to have to pay a little bit of a price. You're going to have to travel down these 4 lanes of confidence, if you will, levels of consciousness. What are the 4 levels of consciousness in learning a new skill? There's an unconscious incompetent, a conscious incompetent, a conscious competent, and an unconscious competent. Now, I know that's a tongue twister and it can get real complicated, but let me repeat that again. You start off as an unconscious incompetent, you move to a conscious incompetent, you'll then travel to a conscious competent, and then you should end up as an unconscious competent. Let me tell you how it works. When I first got into sales, I was what was known as an unconscious incompetent. What is an unconscious incompetent? I didn't know that I didn't know. I had no earthly idea. I jumped into the business. I thought I would do well in the business. Why? Because I had a gift of gab, and I said, boy, I'll talk to people, I'll give them my story, and they're going to stop me and hurl a check at me eventually, and it's just going to be that easy. You see, I just didn't know that sales was a skills-based game. I thought it was something being born, a natural-born salesperson, and was going to do well. Well, I discovered I was unconsciously incompetent. I just didn't know that I didn't know that I didn't know. But then I decided to start studying, and I decided to get really good at this business, but I had to move to level 2, which means I was a conscious incompetent. What is a conscious incompetent? I'm now aware that I don't know. I know that I don't know. But see, this is where the growth takes place. You discover that you don't know, and you're at a crossroads here. Am I going to master the skill, or am I going to retreat? Am I going to retire? Am I going to reload? Am I going to go down to these new avenues? So I was consciously incompetent and I started studying the skill. That's where you move to conscious competent. What is a conscious competent? A conscious competent is working on their skills and they're applying their skills, but they're mechanical in their approach. They haven't mastered it. They haven't done enough repetitions so whether it's perfectly comfortable for them. But you know, here's the great news. If you persist, if you keep going, then you move to the final level of consciousness, and that's called an unconscious competent. That's where you're unconsciously competent. You don't even have to think anymore. It's just that what appears to be a natural skill set, much like Tiger Woods. What is Tiger Woods? He's an unconscious competent. He doesn't have to think about his swing. He doesn't have to do anything. Why? He's practiced, he's drilled, he's rehearsed. So here's the question is this. The question is this. What comes first? Confidence or competence? Confidence or competent? You could say, well, you've got to be confident. And I go, no, 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 no. You can't be confident unless you're competent. So what comes first is this, your level of competence. You see, if you're competent, if you've put in the time and you've mastered the skill, then you're going to be confident. So if you want to build your confidence, it starts with building your competence. Get competent and you'll always be confident.